This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Sir, may I please come in?
Come in.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Good
Mayur.
sir.
Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, Mayur, you born in Sunitpur, anthropology, and you are a doctor. Good. Talk to us about your personality. 5 sentences.
Sir, firstly, sir, I am a very optimistic person. I try to find solutions rather than complaining. Secondly, sir, I am always eager to learn. And thirdly, sir, working in the health department, I believe that I am more humble and compassionate. And sir, thirdly, I respect my elders and they also love me a lot. And sir, fifthly, I think I am hardworking and I am resilient enough.
Okay. You are also a student of anthropology.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about the ethnic groups in Sunitpur and also the languages there.
Yes, sir. Sir, in Sunitpur district, sir, the primary ethnic group will be Assamese people, and this will be followed by, sir, Bengali people, and sir, then there will be those people who are often referred to as Morias in our culture. So those represent the Muslim immigrants who have come way back to Assam and they have intermingled with the other local people. Besides this, there are also tribal peoples like Boros, Ravhas, and Deoris as well.
What is the percentage of Boros in Sunitpur?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact.
Okay. Where does Sunitpur derive its name from?
Yes, sir. Actually, Sunit means blood. There is a very beautiful legend associated with it that there was Ban Raja of Tejpur, of that Sunitpur area, and his daughter actually fell in love with the nephew of Lord Krishna. So one of her friend actually abducted Anirudh, that is nephew of Krishna, and following that Banasura, he prayed to Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva, and eventually there was war between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, and this resulted in a lot of bloodshed, and the entire Brahmaputra which flows that, it became red, so it's called Sunitpur.
Okay. You were also the COVID leader as a doctor.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about your experience during the COVID camp.
Yes, sir. Actually, it was not just in one occasion. There were multiple occasions. In the first, that is where I was serving in a COVID care center, our responsibility was basically two-folded. One was on ground and the other was in the center itself. On ground, our objective was to go to high hotspot areas, persuade people to go for testing so that we can reduce the contact points in that area. And back in the center, our responsibility was to actually to do testing on the people and then decide where to send them on a triage basis.
What learnings do you carry from that experience?
Yes, sir. Sir, so firstly, the role of leadership, because it helped me in managing team management, and so secondly, it also helped me to work as a in teamwork, because it was significant amount of delegation of work was to be done during that period, and so thirdly, also crisis management. Every moment in that situation was basically a crisis moment, and it was up to us how we could manage it.
Okay. WHO says that the CVD deaths in India by 2030 will be nearly 35%.
Sorry, sir?
CVD deaths, cardiovascular, will be nearly 35% by 2030. As Health Secretary, what measures would you put in place?
Yes, sir. Sir, cardiovascular heart diseases, sir, they have two components. One is the genetic component and as well as the lifestyle component. So basically what we can do is that we can focus on the lifestyle component. That basically improves, firstly we can go for more healthier dietary habits. We can encourage people to go for PUFA, that is polyunsaturated fatty acids, instead of going for saturated fatty acids. We can probably give some incentive to that sector.
So, you are health secretary, you have to put in place the policy formulation.
Yes, sir. So that would be one, focusing on those oil and fatty substances. Secondly, sir, other dietary habits also. For example, asking people or encouraging them to go for antioxidant containing foods, for example, fruits and vegetables. So thirdly, we can also the healthy India movement that is going on, under which we can actually raise awareness among people about the importance of physical activity. For example, there is a data which shows that 1.5 hours of work in 1 week can reduce the chances of CVD significantly, sir. So, sir, I believe that through such awareness campaigns, we can actually reduce the incidence of CVD.
What about the health and wellness sectors?
Yes, sir. So, health and wellness sector will also be very crucial in that sector, because they are the primary point of contact between the public. And sir, those will be very crucial in carrying the message forward, in raising awareness among that communities.
And what preventive measures should we take?
So these are mostly preventive measures only, going for good healthy habits, food.
How do you reduce the amount spent on catheterization and things like that?
Yes, sir. Sir, we can go for, sir, in this respect, the NPPA, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Agency, will be the one who will be deciding the prices of various medical devices. And sir, we can actually go for a multi-stakeholder consultation, so that we can provide the services at the optimal price. However, sir, I believe that very drastic reduction in the cost of this at a very fast pace would actually discourage the manufacturers from going into it. And sir, there is also possibility that substandard quality of devices might actually flood the market in that scenario.
So, Mayur, you have opted IFS as your first preference. Huh?
Yes.
Right. These days, a term our Foreign Minister Jaishankar Sahab uses very frequently is strategic independence.
Yes, sir.
How this is different from non-aligned movement?
Yes, sir. Sir, non-aligned movement actually it came in the backdrop of the Cold War, whereby a number of countries, they decided that they won't be joining any of the alliances of the two camps. That was, one was led by USSR and the other was led by US. In contrast to that, sir, strategic autonomy or independence basically refers that while we are dealing or engaging with one country, those engagements won't be affected by our engagements with another country. Both the engagements will be independent of each other.
Few days back, Deputy Minister Foreign Affairs from Ukraine came to India, and she made hue and cry that Ajit Doval should also visit our country, and our PM should also be, President should be allowed to give a speech to G20. You are, say, for example, Foreign Secretary and dealing with that lady. Give us the answer which doesn't hurt her or our interest.
Yes, sir. Sir, sir, there has been a seemingly U-turn in the approach of Ukraine. Ukraine previously was very aggressive in that India is supporting Russia, but her words have been remarked by experts as a relatively softer touch to that earlier aggression. So she is also notching it down. And sir, with respect to that, I believe that with their request to give entry to the G20, sir, I think probably it is not the mature time to do that, and also G20 is probably not the perfect platform for that. If they want, we can go for a back channel diplomacy with both the countries, Russia and Ukraine, and probably, sir, if both the countries give us a joint statement that they want India to mediate officially, then we can go ahead in this step. However, the little consensus that we have been able to build using our G20, for example, we have been successful to bring foreign ministers of US, Russia and China into the same table. That's a great feat in itself in the present scenario. So that consensus might actually break if we try to do sudden change in our plan of invitees to the G20.
But say in Middle East, the role of US is being reduced, and China has emerged as a kind of a deal breaker, Saudi Arabia and Iran. Don't you think this is something we should be worried about?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think that this is a thing that we should actually be very vigilant about, because rise of or the growing dominance of China in the Middle East would actually be in the long run not be in the best of our interest. However, sir, in the immediate context, security and stability in the region would work the best for our interest, and also sir, normalization of relationship between Saudi and Iran would actually help us in balancing our relationship with both the countries. India has significant strategic interest in both the countries, be it for the energy sector and for Saudi, and Iran for our connectivity to potential connectivity to central India. So in the immediate context, it's good, but in the long term, India should also engage on a more proactive level with both the countries.
What is this de-dollarization debate? How does it impact India?
Sir, yes. So de-dollarization actually, I saw a paper which said that the dollar used to be the #1 currency. Around 90% of world trade used to be done in dollar before the Russia-Ukraine war. However, after the Russia-Ukraine war, after Russia was actually cut off from the SWIFT, a lot of other nations have seen the dangers of over-dependence on one currency. And following that, a lot of countries are going for de-dollarization, and India is also stepping up in this direction. For example, recently, sir, 18 countries have shown interest in dealing with India in rupee. Also, there is secondly, sir, with Russia, India has rupee-ruble trade. There are 60 Vostro accounts with India with multiple countries. So India is also making good progress in this direction. So it has a number of positives. For example, it would reduce the pressure on our forex reserve, and that would also secondly help in strengthening our rupees currency.
Your foreign affair minister and my foreign affair minister, S. Jaishankar, made a statement few days back that Lord Hanuman and Lord Krishna were great diplomats. But in both the cases, ultimately war took place. So don't you think that these were flopped and failed diplomats?
Sir, no, I don't think that they were flopped or failed diplomats, because the work of a diplomat is to avoid the war as far as possible. In that respect, both of them made great efforts. They made genuine efforts in that direction through negotiations, and they in fact made last-ditch efforts to avoid that. However, if none of the parties are actually willing, then in the past, sir, actually war used to be the final solution.
Do you really agree with the statement of Jaishankarji that they were diplomats?
Yes, sir. In the pure sense of actually negotiating between two parties, yes, I believe that they were diplomats.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Mayur.
Hello, sir.
So you have interest in solving Rubik's Cube.
Yes, sir.
So any benefits of solving Rubik's Cube?
Sir, firstly, it helps in, for me, it helps in relieving stress. Secondly, it also helps me in problem solving. And thirdly, it helps me in applying appropriate, in understanding that different situations in life would actually require different type of approach.
So how many types, what are the techniques of solving Rubik's Cube?
Sir, there are multiple techniques. The one that I use is basically layer by layer, and with each layer there are a number of algorithms that we need to follow.
Can you explain it in simple terms? I also tried, I never could solve it. I gave up eventually.
Yes, sir. The most basic type of Rubik's is 3 by 3. So here I start with the lowermost layer, and there are different algorithms.
Okay, so you are saying that go layer first, arrange the lower layer, then the second one?
Yes.
Not the face, okay. Arrange the layer so that all the 6 faces it is arranged, not the one face, okay. Layer face, and the other approach will be face to face.
So face to face is very complex, and probably it is the most difficult way of trying to solve that.
And what is speed cubing?
So speed cubing is actually the competition or the attempt by solvers to solve it in as little time as possible.
And what is the world record?
So the world record is held by a Chinese individual called Yuseng Du, and the world record is 3.47 seconds.
Mayur.
Yes, sir.
You are a medical officer. You have been a medical officer.
Yes, sir.
So right now you are working, or you have quit the job?
Sir, no. It was a contractual 1-year period in a rural posting, and I ended in May 2022.
So why do you want to quit this medical field and join civil services?
Sir, I don't believe that I am actually quitting to be a doctor. I am a doctor and will remain so. And whenever my nation will need me to serve as a doctor, I will be willing to do it again. However, I believe that coming into medical personnel coming into civil service, actually it is a positive to some extent, because they will be able to provide some expert knowledge and opinion on that aspect in policy making, and that might be actually productive, sir.
Okay. Suppose as you have filled your first preference as Indian Foreign Services. So, being an Indian Foreign Services officer, how would you ensure that your medical dreams, and you are saying that you will be always a doctor, how they will be fulfilled?
Sir, yes, in this respect, we can work on to a number of things, sir, as a foreign diplomat if I am posted. So, firstly, I can promote India's medical sector as a reliable yet very cheap option. For example, the cost of the pricing in US is around 10 times higher than in India. So, we have a potential of promoting our Indian medical sector in other countries of the world. Secondly, sir, I will be able to learn the best practices that is occurring around different countries, and probably recommend them back to my country, so that they may be implemented in my country. And sir, thirdly, I can think of promoting not only the allopathic sector but also the IAS sector, because that also has a great potential as an alternative medical field that many people of the world they prefer, sir.
Whatever solutions you are suggesting, they are just we are having human resource crisis in rural areas.
Yes,
the doctors do not want to go to rural areas and serve there.
yes.
You were also working in the rural area.
Yes,
Okay, and in 1 year you are saying that it was a contract.
yes.
So if I am saying maybe you will become an Indian Administrative Services officer. If you are a DM, how would you woo these doctors to come in the rural areas and serve there?
Yes, sir. Sir, I can think of couple of ways by which I can do this. So, firstly, the infrastructure in the rural areas needs to be improved. Once the rural-urban divide actually comes down, then the doctors will be willing to work in the rural sector as well. Secondly, sir, the rural health infrastructure also needs to be improved. For example, in the mini PHC that I used to work, there was no delivery room. It is very unfortunate, and if doctors actually feel underutilized in the rural setup. So, we actually need to improve that as well. And thirdly, sir, obviously the monetary factor is also there. Then we can think of increasing the salary so that it becomes an attractive job opportunity for the doctors as well in the rural sector.
Okay, my last question is, name some of the football competitions held in India.
Yes, sir. Sir, at the moment, sir, the first tier football, that is club football, that is going on is ISL, Indian Super League. So below it, second tier is the I League, and under it the third tier is the I League 2. And besides this, sir, there are state championship as well. For example, Santosh Trophy, and there is also, sir, ISL Super Cup. So these are the cups that I can think of now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Judging from what has been the interaction with, your awareness levels are really good. I mean, lots of questions on very diverse fields. You were aware. Your language is also to a large extent okay. I would just suggest that maybe if you can try to speak a bit slowly, although time is not there much to change, much. But consciously think if you can, speak a little slower.
Okay, sir.